I've had my fair share of mental health struggles, and that came from things that I experienced when I was a young kid and things like high stress environments during college. But throughout the years, I've managed to learn a few things and tools that helped me to manage my mental health and be able to maintain it at a baseline higher level than before. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tyler Warlow, and I make videos on things I wish I knew when I was younger. All of these videos center around how to improve your life through your confidence, capabilities, and overall happiness. In today's video, I wanted to discuss some of the basic tools that I have used to help me whenever I'm going through a particularly hard and difficult mental health episode. These aren't going to be anything revolutionary or groundbreaking, and they might not work for you, but these are the basics that have helped me through some of my dark and difficult periods. I've talked about my mental health struggles on this channel before, and I think it's incredibly important to destigmatize the conversation around it. So I wanted to give some of the tools that I've used in my experiences with them, and I hope that it helps some of y'all who might also be going through some difficult times. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is pretty obviously going to be therapy. I can't state it enough that if you are going through something particularly difficult and you're having a challenging time recovering or understanding what it is that you're going through, then you should go seek out professional help. Don't get me wrong, your friends and your family are a great support group, but these are people who might also be going through their own stuff, and they're not exactly trained to help you to develop tools and learn how to understand what it is that you're going through. A really well-trained therapist is going to be able to help you get to the root of whatever it is that you're experiencing, whether that's depression, anxiety, or bipolar. They are trained to help you kind of walk through what it is that you're experiencing and give you techniques and tools to help you mitigate and manage what it is that you're going through. A few common things that people kind of misunderstand about therapy is, first off, your first therapist might not be the perfect fit for you. It's just like any other relationship. You need to find someone who is a good fit for you and what it is that you are going through. I personally know several people that tried therapy and had a not great experience with their first therapist and ended up quitting altogether. But usually you have to try a few people to find a therapist that you really connect with and who is able to really help you process whatever it is that you're going through. Another common kind of mistake that people will make is that they go to therapy expecting to fix themselves. And that's really not the case. Therapy is an ongoing discussion about your mental health and your experiences in life. There's not something that you're necessarily trying to fix. You're trying to help develop the tools and the mechanisms to help you manage stress, anxiety, depression on a day-to-day basis. You're never going to be at this point where you're 100% happy all the time. That's just not a realistic scenario to be in. But rather, the therapy is going to help you to learn and recognize when things are starting to get a little bit out of hand, and then use your tools to help bring it back to a grounded center. There's a lot of options out there nowadays, and a lot of health insurances are starting to try and cover mental health services. So please, if you are going through something, try to do some research and look into therapy. I promise that you won't regret it if you stick with it and you find someone that is a good fit for you. Next up is going to be exercise. I personally use weightlifting as my form of exercise, and the reason that it works so well for me is because it helps give me something to focus on. So if I'm going through a particularly difficult time in my life or I'm feeling very stressed, my mind tends to go to those things at all hours of the day. And so it can be very difficult to break that cycle of depression or stress that I'm going through. But when I go to the gym and I do some weightlifting, I am forced to focus on my exercise, because if I don't focus on my form, there is the potential that I could injure myself. And usually when I have something that I'm forced to give my full undivided attention to, it helps to kind of take my mind off whatever it is that I was going through for long enough that it helps to break that kind of spiral that I'm going through in that time period. How people use exercise to manage their mental health varies from person to person. That is just how I use it. Other people use it as a way to socialize with their friends, and other people do it because they legitimately find it to be a fun and enjoyable activity, and for them it is a recharging experience. Exercise can also help improve your mental health through a few other aspects. When you exercise, your body releases more neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which are classically referred to as the feel-good chemicals. The more activities that you do that help your body to generate these neurotransmitters at kind of more sustainable levels rather than spikes through doing things like scrolling through social media or drugs, the better that your body will get at being able to maintain a higher general baseline level. When you have higher baseline levels of these neurotransmitters, mental health tends to be better. It doesn't fully eliminate depression and anxiety, but there is evidence to show that having higher levels does reduce that risk. On top of that, when you exercise, your body is going to be physically tired, so this can help you to get some better sleep as your body will be wanting to recharge and heal itself. As you get better sleep, this will help to improve your energy levels, and as you get better at exercising over time, your body's going to get stronger and more capable of handling day-to-day activities, so you're going to also generate higher energy levels in that regard. All of this paired together has been shown to improve mental health and lift and elevate mood. This next one is something that I don't necessarily do all the time. I think it would be helpful to do all the time, but I just don't always feel the need to do it. Rather, this is something that I do when I'm feeling particularly stressed or I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty negative mind space around things centered more at like annoyance and angry feelings. When I'm finding that I'm kind of stuck in this headspace, I will try to practice gratitude. And I do this by starting the morning by writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for. This can be anything from I'm grateful for my morning cup of coffee or for something like socializing with your friends. But the big thing that you should try to do is not repeat yourself. You're trying to look for things to be grateful for. And the more stuff that you find that you're grateful for, the more that you're going to train yourself to be grateful for these small things. And by practicing gratitude, it helps to bring you out of that negative headspace because as humans, we naturally want to be in a negative headspace. By constantly paying attention to the negative, that's what has allowed us as a species to be able to survive. But by training ourselves to look for the positive things, this can help to elevate our mood and take our focus off of the negative things and again, break that negative cycle that we can get ourselves into so easily. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is commonly seen in the workforce, and it commonly contributes to feelings of burnout. And that's going to be that people really don't give themselves time to do the things that recharge them or that they find fun. We get so caught up in maintaining our commitments that we never do things to actually help ourselves. When you don't take time to do things that you personally enjoy, you are going to gradually deplete your energy levels. Even if these are things that are good experiences to be a part of, if it's not something that's recharging to you, then it's really just going to deplete your energy levels over time. I'll give you all an example. After my wedding, my wife and I had a period of almost 6 months where we were busy pretty much every single weekend doing something for somebody, where we were never really taking any time for us or being with each other. This ended up leading to us just feeling constantly tired and moody all the time, even when we were home, and really only feeling better when we got like a brief respite and got to be with each other. Finally ended up working for us was when we intentionally set aside a weekend where we said we are going to say no to making any plans with anyone else. This allowed us to have a weekend to ourselves where we decided that we could either do things on our own that we wanted to do or we could do things together, as long as it was something that we personally found to be enjoyable. It was a good thing that we set aside this weekend because we did get invited to go do things like go to a birthday party, which honestly is a pretty hard thing to say no to. But Even that singular weekend ended up making such a huge difference for Emily and I, where we felt so much better just because we took the time to just recharge rather than constantly doing things. So make sure that you are setting aside time intentionally. This can look different for different people. If you're an extrovert, then you likely really enjoy being with your friends. If you're an introvert, you might be someone who really gets recharged from just sitting down, playing a nice video game, or reading a good book. But whatever it is, make sure that it is something that recharges you and that you personally find fun. And give yourself time to be fully dedicated to it without any sort of time limit or expectations. Doing this somewhat regularly is going to help you to maintain your mood and be happy with the things that you're doing over the long term. Next up, I'm going to recommend that you set aside time to have deep and meaningful social experiences. This means that you are going and doing things with friends where you are connecting at a deeper level than just doing some sort of activity. You're catching up on each other's lives, you're getting to talk about things that are personal, and really getting to continue to know each other over time. Social experiences like this are so important that it actually ended up on Maslow's hierarchy of needs under love and belonging. As humans, we are social creatures. We strive to have some form of connection. This varies from person to person in terms of how many people they feel like they need to be connected to and the deepness of that connection. But at its core, we all crave that social experience with our friends. By making sure that you're setting aside time to have these deep and meaningful experiences that go beyond just surface level commitments and things that you're doing because you kind of know a person, it's giving you time to connect and actually experience that social well-being with your friends. I've personally made the mistake of committing to way too many things that were with a lot of different friends and not making enough time for my really close friendships. So even though it felt like I was doing things with friends, it didn't really make me feel recharged. Versus the things that I scheduled with my close friends that I've been friends with for a long time, those were the things that really gave me energy and made me even feel better after doing those social experiences. Make sure you're making time for your friends because this is going to help you to develop a support group which can be there for you if you ever start going through some hard times. But that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. I hope that you found the video to be helpful or informative. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to join me along in this self-improvement journey. If you'd like to see more videos like this one where I talk about mental and physical health related topics, be sure to check out this video right here where I talk about how to exercise while you're injured. If you're more interested in my most recent stuff, be sure to check out this video right here. But until the next time, this is Tyler Warlow, signing off.